Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be doing my final 2024 US Senate prediction. Now, before we get started, please like and subscribe. If I do get the selection correct, share it with your friends, stuff like that. The election is on the 5th of November. Today's the 17th of October. The election is coming. Make sure you vote. Get out and vote. Mail your vote in if you would like. You vote early. And yeah. So I did make my final governor's prediction, so make sure you do check that out, see what I predicted there. And yeah, so this is the current Senate right now. Democrats hold the majority. Um, Technically they have 51 seats, including the two independent seats from Christine Sinema and Angus King because they caucus with Democrats. Now, Republicans need one more seat if Trump becomes elected, but if Trump is not elected, they need two more seats. Because if Trump is elected, trying to hear me out, if Trump is elected, they need 50 seats because J.D. Vance will be the tiebreaker if he becomes the vice president, and they need 51 seats if Trump does not win. Okay, so this is the map right now. Republicans and Democrats have 34 seats up as well, not toss-ups, but there's races going on. Um, so yeah, the reason why I'm not really calling it a toss-up is because it's not really contested, right? Not all of these seats are contested. Some, of course, have their clearly favorable candidate, but whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so let's go ahead and look at my margins first. So when I'm saying safe or solid, I'm saying that's 15 percentage points or higher. Here are the colors, likely to 5 to 15. Here are the colors. Leading 1 to 5, here are the colors. And tilting 0 to 1, here are the colors. And these numbers like 15, 5, and 1 are not part of these actual things. It's actually included in the one above it. For example, when I say plus 1%, that's actually leaning. Because it's here, we don't include that, if you get what I mean. And when I'm saying 5%, that's actually likely because it's including over here, not here. But yeah. Now, let's go ahead and fill out this map. So, starting with the solid Republican states: North Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, the Senate special election in Nebraska, uh, Missouri, Mississippi, Tennessee, Indiana, and West Virginia. For Democrat, and that brings Republicans to a total of 47 seats. Now, Democrats, they have Hawaii, California, Washington, um, Delaware, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, and New York, as well as Maine. Sorry, and the state of Maine. Well, Maine technically is independent, but technically he caucuses Democrats. But yeah, so now let's go ahead and look at the likely Republican states. So when I'm saying likely, I'm saying 5 to 15. First of all, let's say Florida. Florida, Senator Rick Scott will definitely win re-election. At least, I don't know about definitely, but I do think it'll be at least by 5. Yeah. And next is the state of Montana. Tim Sheehy, is right now leading in the polls by about 7 percentage points. That is pretty good for him. And if we look at in the year 2018, Tester won by 3.1, though the poll said 3.3. So that's not really that big of an overestimation, but still, they did not underestimate Tester. Right now, they're showing Sheehy up. Plus, Donald Trump is running for president, so I do think Tester would not win re-election there in the state of Montana, which is a red state. Now let's go to the likely Democrat states. I will classify the state of Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Minnesota, Virginia, Maryland, and New Jersey all as a likely Democrat. So those are 7 seats. So those are kind of a lot. So first of all, the state of Nevada, I do think Rosen will defeat Brown. She's up in the polls. I do think we can actually go there right now. So Nevada, okay. So Rosen's up by 5.5, and now Nevada generally it overestimates Republicans. So the fact that Rosen is up, and I do think she will win. In fact, in 2018, she won by 5, when I believe she was not the income. Well, Yeah, I do not think she was the incumbent. Yeah, she was not the incumbent. And she won by 5. We can even go to the election right now. If we go to the polls, yeah, Rosen's up big time. You can see plus 9.1, plus 7.5, plus 10.2 apparently. Probably 7.5, but whatever. It's okay. Yeah, I do think she will win by likely. Arizona, Kerry Lake, I do not think will win. I do think Ruben Gallego will pull it off. I do think he'll win by a pretty good amount. He's up in the polls by quite a bit. And New Mexico, of course, Democrat. Likely Minnesota. Likely Virginia, Tim Kaine. Likely Maryland, Larry Hogan is running, so I would say this would be likely Democrat. And New Jersey, the incumbent is not running. I do think that'll be a likely. And yeah, so now let's go to the leaning Republican states. First of all, I will classify the state of Texas as a leaning Republican state. So, at this point now, Republicans would win the Senate. They have 50 seats if Trump wins. But I will classify Texas as a leaning state because, although many people are saying, oh yeah, Colin Alred is rising in the polls. Yes, I mean, oh, I'm pretty sure he's doing, I mean, better than earlier in the polls. Of course, that's true. But I do not think that will be enough to flip the state of Texas. Um, Texas is gonna, in my opinion, it's hard to flip. I don't think in the year, I don't think Texas would flip blue. I think Cruz would pull it off, just like he did in 18. The polls did overestimate Cruz, in 18, to be fair, but I still think that Cruz would pull it off by a lean margin at least. Probably a lean margin, yeah. And Nebraska I will classify as leaning Republican. This is oddly competitive in my opinion. Uh, excuse me. If we go to the polls here, if they do show it, okay, let's go to the Senate map and the state of Nebraska. Um, okay, well, I guess it's not showing. So let's revert back here. Okay, guess not. Well, um, okay, let's go to the state of Nebraska. Right. 2024. Sorry about that. Um, if we go to the polls, Dan Osborne, an independent, is somehow doing very good. I mean, we can look at these polls. Osborne is up. In 538, though, it's showing that Fisher is barely winning. I do think, Fisher would pull it off. I don't think that Osborne would win. I think it would be pretty close, actually. But I do think on the actual election day, um, Fisher would win. Donald Trump is running too. I think it'll probably be close though, somewhat close, but I don't think that Osborne will pull it off. But yeah, that's just how I see it. It could be 1 point, who knows? Probably even. I mean, that fits the leaning margin. But yeah, only God knows. So now we get to the Rust Belt. Leaning Democrat states. Well, it's the blue wall. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Well, technically Minnesota is part of Rust Belt, maybe more. I don't know exactly what's in it, but anyways, the blue wall is leaning Democrat in my opinion. Baldwin, Solokin, and Casey would pull it off by a lean margin. I don't see these races as especially competitive. All of them have incumbents except for the state of Michigan. I do think Slotkin would pull it off for the lead margin. Now, last but not least is the state of Ohio. I do think this will be the closest Senate race. If it's not, then it'll be Nebraska. Mark my words. Actually, don't mark my words, but I do think it'll be Ohio or Nebraska. But Ohio, um, I'm I'm pretty sure that'll be the closest. If we go to the Ohio Senate, Republicans are winning. And predicted. So Republicans spiked. And as you can see, Republicans are currently at 56 cents. So, in that case, Republicans are favored according to predicted. So, I will be saying this is a tilt Republican. Also, Sherrod Brown is up in the polls. But if we go to the year 2016, 2018, they kind of overestimated Brown, as you can see here, plus 6.4. Brown was kind of overestimated there. And with Trump being running, I do think Marino could pull it off. I think it could go either way, but I'm predicting that Sherrod Brown would lose to Bernie Marino. So yeah, this is my prediction, my final Senate prediction. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Make sure you stay in tune for my House and presidential prediction. Thank you.